What's going on, guys? It is the SMT. Thank you for tuning in to watch this video. We've got awesome news coming out of T-Mobile. It really is very good. They had another excellent quarter, capped off with a bunch of record lows in good ways, and then capped off with a bunch of financial record highs, all in good ways. Overall, a very, very good quarter. Very happy to see T-Mobile showing sustainable and continued growth. Very, very excellent to see. Let's get into the details in this video. I do want to thank you guys for being here. I hope you find this information informative. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, bell notify yourself so you never miss an upload from the SMT. So let's go ahead and get started with the details. First of all, John kind of started things off. Very fitting. He is the face, the franchise. He is the man that is T-Mobile. He's the representative figure. He's the CEO. So he spoke of the FCC clearance. He talked about the detailed plans, how they're in place. He didn't speak of the details. He just said that they're there. So 2.5 gigahertz right after merger close. They're going to start integrating the networks right away. We kind of knew that, but he just, wanted to continue to, make sure he drove that point home. He mentioned the Tunney Act review, Mississippi, Colorado, Florida as, states that have either been flipped or given their support of the merger. He also mentioned the 19 supporting entities that were on the side of the merger and that were pro. He also did something interesting where he mentioned fixed broadband. That's really important, which I'll explain why shortly, where I think he's going with this. So December 9th, he also mentioned that date, open to the state attorneys general, maybe coming to settlements and agreements and working out deals, to get this merger thing going. In terms of additions, 1.7 million subs. Guys, this is awesome. They added 750,000 postpaid ads, record low churn of 0.89. I think AT&T came in at 0.95. I actually reported that earlier today, so I'll put a card up here. I think it'll be somewhere, where you guys can click on and see how AT&T did. But, they beat Verizon for the third quarter in a row in churn. They also beat AT&T in churn. That'll be 5 quarters in a row. So doing awesome things, keeping their customers on board. Now, financial-wise, service revenue was $8.6 billion, which is 6% increase year over year. Free cash flow was excellent, very high. Mentioned at an increase of 10%. Branded postpaid revenue was awesome. It was a very, very positive beat that you got from the financial side. It's been this case for a while, and T-Mobile continues to thrive in that way. Network-wise, where things get interesting, accelerated build-out of low band. Spoke of 600 megahertz multiple times throughout the earnings report. 26 million subscribers on the T-Mobile network have a band 71, aka 600 megahertz device. Those are active and on the network, which is great. Those are devices that can take advantage of the coverage from T-Mobile when they offer. Also, he mentioned 1.4 million square miles of 600 megahertz coverage. Thousands of towers are ready to be upgraded with this spectrum for 5G. 200 million pops being identified for the coverage. Really, this is great news when it comes to the low-band 5G rollout. So they also mentioned later this year the McLaren OnePlus 7T Pro 5G, so that device specifically. They didn't speak of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G, which is also supposed to have the same network capabilities. I'm not sure why they omitted that, but they did omit it, so not sure if it means anything, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Set your calendars. November 7th is going to be the official first Un-carrier move, Un-carrier 1.0 for the new T-Mobile. November 7th, John's got something in store. He didn't want to mention it. He loves doing surprises. You guys know how John is. We'll see what happens. We'll see what he does. I have my own speculation. I'll kind of save that for another video. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit tonight on the podcast. Join us there, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, Braxton Carter came on. He talked a little bit about merger-related payments, the extra costs involved in the merger, impacting cash flow. Obviously, there's lawyer fees and there's all this other stuff involved, you know, the operating in courts and things like that. It's very complicated and a lot of spending there. ARPU is down a bit, nothing substantial, but it was notable. The transition to unlimited plans from legacy devices, T-Mobile is trying to get people out of those old bucket plans and limited data plans. They want everybody unlimited, which is fine. I think consumers should look forward to those things. So we'll see what happens there if that continues. $5.9 to $6 billion capex increase in spending. Obviously, the 600 megahertz is going to be a big part of this, getting that low band 5G out there and deployed nationally. Mentioned several times with Braxton Carter, the capital investment, the capex being very front end loaded. Makes a lot of sense, you know. Get those contracts at the beginning of the year, get those network advancements built out quickly, whether it's, you know, hardware installs, all of that stuff. You know, it's been a habit of T-Mobile to go front end heavy and then gear up and get ready for the next part of the new year. So he says, you know, when you think about earlier when the reports were that T-Mobile was stopping payments and, you know, putting holds on contracts and, you know, all that contracted work was being paused, you know, he kind of spoke to it. I don't want to say he kind of glanced over it, but he did try to kind of sidestep it a bit, saying that T-Mobile's not into doing those types of things. And, you know, but he kept calling back to the whole, you know, merger spending and stuff like that. I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it. It just, I don't know, something didn't sit right with me and what Braxton was saying. I think we could have used a little bit more admittance, maybe some honesty on it, or maybe he just wasn't at the liberty to speak about it, but he could have said that. But other than that, everything was cool there. He talked about some of the questions that I saw or I heard. What about those payments and those contract slowdowns? We didn't get the real answers. All he said, Braxton, was we have done more this year in 2019 than we initially planned. So they've gone above and beyond and they feel good about where they're at. Also, you know, the Dish revenue stream potential with a 600 megahertz deal where they would be sharing with T-Mobile and Dish. You know, John spoke to it too. He said, hey, if it's a win-win deal and it's an opportunity for us, we're going to consider it and we'll get in on it with Dish. So, you know, he spoke about that opportunity presenting itself. They would take advantage. And also the upgrading of the backhaul is constantly being done. Lots of small cells are being deployed. You know, you got a lot of capacity. T-Mobile's stomping with the big dogs now. They've got, you know, it's got to be almost 86 million subscribers now. So you need capacity to run that type of a network. Everything's over LTE. You know, you're trying to expand the network. You know, you've got all these new users. You add customers, all the pre-existing. You know, data connections are getting more demanding and things of that nature. So anyways, all of that to say this, the SMT takeaways. Number one, huge financial quarter for T-Mobile. They did very, very good. I think most telling is the free cash flow. That's awesome. Obviously, you know, another 1+ million subscribers added. The streak is still intact, so they'll continue moving forward with that. Now, last quarter, they did 1.8 million added. This one was 1.7. Really very, very similar. I don't see them slowing down. It looks like the momentum is going to continue. You would think it would eventually slow down. It just doesn't seem that way. It's freaking awesome. It looks like the concerns about, you know, some public perception that they were offering that test drive program was, you know, because they weren't going to hit that 1 million subscriber count. It looks like those were unfounded and unwarranted and inaccurate. So I'm glad to see they got to that 1+ million. I think it just continues to show their positive momentum in their ads. Also, the high merger related expenditures were highlighted. I think that tells you where they're at with the legal thing. They're all in. They're not going anywhere. They're not budging from the merger. This thing is, you know, it's what they're all in on. They're not being deterred from it. Low band 5G emphasis. I wouldn't expect them to say otherwise. While AT&T keeps things on wraps, no coverage maps and so on, and while Verizon continues to deploy in very isolated islands with, you know, problems with connectivity, T-Mobile is convinced that their situation with low band is the best way to go with the layered cake scenario, the analogy. So they're continuing to just reinforce that. And now they're focusing on explaining it to the customers and explaining it to the subscribers and explaining it to the public. And I think people are becoming more aware of what 600 megahertz represents as a 5G for all, where he made fun of AT&T and he continues to make fun of Verizon because of that. And lastly, they mentioned first responders. The new deal, that 50% off discounts all lines on the account. It's a situation where we understand that there's not as many first responders as military, but they're giving first responders the same discount as military. So the discount is better than all other carriers. Number one, it's on all lines on the account. Number two, it's, I guess we'll say it's a better discount. So AT&T, and Verizon, while they do offer discounts for military and so on, they give the big discount to the one line on the account holder, but all the other ones are like less. So this gives the full discount to all the plans that are on the account. Anyways, that was the takeaway. It was a huge positive quarter. It was big time. T-Mobile's positive momentum continues to show. John doing great things with the marketing, with the network push, with the direction of the consumer-centric focus, as well as, the 600 megahertz rollout for 5G as well as LTE. Things just keep going. The T-Mobile train is cooking, full speed ahead. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below on everything that was covered in today's earnings report. Let me know what you think of that record churn low. Let me know what you think of the financials. Let me know what you think of the, 1+ million subscribers, streak still intact. Any of the questions and comments that came up during, during the earnings call. Let me know, man. Let me know everything that you guys want to talk about. I think it's a great discussion point. In fact, I'll be going on live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Times, the Sneed Mobile Tech podcast. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. I'm sure everybody's going to be having, tons of opinions and ideas on all of it, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. So thank you again for being here. Please like and share this video. Get it out there. Let it hit the YouTube algorithm running. There's a couple of different ways to get involved with the SMT communities. We've got the Discord server. We've got the Patreon page. Those links are in the description box. And of course, if you want to help support production here on the SMT YouTube channel, there is a PayPal share link down in the description box as well. Many thanks in advance for those considerations. I think I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you later on tonight for the podcast. I am the SMT, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.